God allowed that narcissist in your life. And it's not what you think. You've been praying so long it feels like the words are scraping your throat raw, crying until the tears burn like acid, whispering through clenched teeth, "God, please, make it stop. Change them. Fix this. Take away the pain. Do something, anything." But let's be honest, nothing's changing. If anything, it's worse. Colder, quieter, crazier. That peace you've been begging for feels like it's sprinting in the opposite direction. Here's the part no one wants to admit. All that desperate praying, all those late-night sobs, those pleas for God to fix the narcissist, might be the very thing keeping you trapped. Yeah, trapped. Stuck in a cycle that's bleeding your soul dry while your sanity drips away one prayer at a time. But don't check out yet, because what I'm about to tell you could flip your entire perspective. You want to know why nothing's moving. You want out of this prison. Then you've got to stop making the same mistake in those midnight prayers. The broken ones, the bargaining ones, the ones that end in that heavy, hollow silence. Here's the truth. There's a shift coming. A holy, violent, grace-soaked shift. And it starts when you stop begging God to rewrite their story and start letting Him rewrite yours. But warning, this isn't soft, easy Christianity. This isn't for people who just want a pretty prayer and a Pinterest verse. This is for the ones who are bone-deep tired of calling chaos love and chains commitment. Picture this, a blacksmith's fire. Flames raging, sparks exploding like fireworks. Steel screaming as the hammer falls again and again. That's the process. And guess what? You're the steel. The narcissist. They are the heat. The anvil. The pressure. But God is the one holding the hammer. And is not breaking you. He's shaping you. Burning off the weakness. Forging an edge you didn't know existed. And here's the truth nobody likes. God uses pain. He uses conflict. He even uses toxic people. Why? Because pressure is the fastest way to refine purpose. And the enemy knows this too. That's why he weaponizes relationships. Nothing reflects God's heart more than love. And nothing shreds a soul like love twisted out of shape. And it always starts small, doesn't it? A jab, a cold shoulder, a missed call whispering, "You don't matter." Then it grows. It festers. It roots deep until bitterness sets up shop in your chest. That's the enemy's move. He doesn't come charging in with chains. He slides in with whispers. "You were wronged. You're not enough. You'll never matter." And suddenly, that narcissist becomes the face of every wound you've ever carried. Your thoughts spiral. Your heart hardens. That person you once loved now looks like your worst nightmare. And the enemy, he's grinning. Because whether it's rage, revenge, or silent despair, it's all the same to him. A victory. Before you know it, the drift begins. The laughs fade. The soft words disappear. What's left? Two strangers who can barely stand each other. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your best friend turned enemy. And let's call it what it is. This isn't family drama. It's not some cute dysfunction you laugh about in memes. This is war. And yes, some people are toxic. Pure and simple. They'll chew you up, spit you out, and grin while they do it. But here's the twist nobody sees coming. The part that changes everything. Those dark, messy, soul-splitting moments. That's exactly where God rolls up his sleeves and does his deepest, most breathtaking work. Not just saving you, but shaping you. Want proof? Let's talk about Joseph, a man whose own brothers sold him like a piece of cattle, tossed into slavery, dumped in prison, betrayed by people he trusted most. And where was God? Right there, not stopping the pain, not blocking the betrayal, but standing with him in the middle of it. Why? Because Joseph didn't quit on God. And don't romanticize it. He wasn't skipping through prison singing praise songs. He was human. He bled. He wept. He wrestled with doubt like a man drowning in it. But he didn't let bitterness take root. He didn't let betrayal define him. He kept walking, even when the road was jagged, even when the night stretched on forever. And because of that, God never left his side. That's what trust looks like. Not pretty, not easy, but real. And it will save your soul when everything else is falling apart. So here's where you start. Stop praying for God to change them. Start asking him to change you. That's where the freedom begins. And yes, God will handle them. That's his promise. But right now, he's handling you. Because this, right here, is not punishment. It's preparation. Fast forward through years of slavery, betrayal, false accusations, prison bars, and shattered promises. And then suddenly, the scene flips. Joseph stands face to face with the very brothers who sold him out. They are desperate, starving, and completely at his mercy. And Joseph, he doesn't explode. He doesn't boast. He simply speaks one sentence that echoes through eternity. What you intended for evil, God intended for good. Genesis 50 verse 20. Memorize it. Engrave it on your heart. That verse isn't just comforting. It's a weapon for the battle you're in. But don't stop there. Most people grab that line, print it on a mug, and call it a day. This runs far deeper. Everyone loves the through you part. When God uses your life to inspire, lead, and bless others. But almost no one signs up for the in you part. The crushing weight, the breaking process, the fire that burns away pride and polishes your soul until it shines. God didn't just use Joseph's pain to rescue a nation. He used it to transform Joseph himself. Like a diamond formed under relentless pressure and blazing heat, Joseph emerged unbreakable. So maybe the question isn't, why isn't God changing them? Maybe the real question is, what is God changing in me? And here's where everything pivots. The moment that determines whether you rise or stay stuck. When you're drowning in chaos, your mind spins on repeat. Why is this happening? Why won't God fix this? Why can't they stop? Your prayers start sounding like this. God, change them. God, get me out. God, make them see what they've done. But here's the problem. Your entire focus is glued to them. Their behavior, their mess, their destruction. And as long as your eyes stay locked on them, you'll miss what God is trying to do in you. That right there, that's the trap. And when this truth finally smacks us in the face, what do we usually do? Oh, come on. You don't get it. It's not me, it's them. They're the problem. Listen carefully. This isn't about blaming you. This isn't about excusing abuse or telling you to stay in harm's way. Here's the hard truth. If Joseph, betrayed, sold out, abandoned like trash, had chosen to live in a look what they did to me mindset, he would have never seen the miracle God was writing in his story. If he spent his days sulking and crying out, God, when are you going to fix them? He would have missed the bigger work, the one happening inside him. And let me be real, I missed it too. I stayed stuck for years, obsessing over their mess, replaying every lie, every betrayal, every wound like a highlight reel in my mind. And guess what changed? Nothing. No breakthrough, no freedom, no peace. Until one day, I asked a different question. God, what are you trying to change in me? That question cracked something open. A sliver of light broke through. And slowly, the shift began. The first lesson, it's brutal. Let go. Sounds simple, right? But peeling off layers of resentment and unforgiveness, that's like tearing off a backpack you didn't even realize was crushing your spine. At first, bitterness feels justified. They wronged you. They are still wronging you. And forgiving feels like saying, what you did was okay. But forgiveness isn't approval. It's release. It's your jailbreak. Because bitterness, it's a slow poison, a silent killer, the thief of everything good in you. And the longer you sip it, the more it drains your soul. Joseph could have clung to hate till his dying breath, and the world would have said he was right. His brothers sold him like worthless junk. But instead, he forgave, and that single act blew the doors wide open. Miracles, healing, destiny, all of it started there. He looked his betrayers in the eye and said, "You meant evil against me, but God turned it for good." That decision unlocked everything. This isn't about letting someone off the hook. It's about breaking your own chain so God can move, heal what's shattered, restore what's lost, and deal with them his way, not yours. And now comes the part nobody wants to face, the one that nearly broke me. The waiting. That long, hollow silence where nothing, absolutely nothing, feels like it's changing. You keep praying. Keep crying, keep begging, and God, silent, still, nowhere to be found, or so it seems. And everything in you wants to take control. Force the outcome. Kick the door open just to stop the bleeding. But right there, in that space where you have zero control, is where God does his deepest work. Patience isn't some cute little virtue people put on mugs and greeting cards. It's a battlefield. It's like planting a seed in dry, cracked soil. You dig, drop the seed, cover it, water it, and then nothing. You're left staring at the ground, wondering if the seed's dead, if you're dead inside, and if God even cares anymore. But here's the truth. Under that hard, silent ground, something is happening. Roots are spreading. The soil is shifting. The miracle is in motion. You just can't see it yet. And here's what nobody likes to hear. God is always working behind the scenes. Always. Even when the narcissist turns up the heat. Even when the apology never comes. Even when your heart feels like it's hanging by a thread. Patience in the middle of chaos can feel like drowning in slow motion. Like screaming underwater where nobody hears you. But that's the furnace where faith gets forged. Joseph knew that furnace well. Betrayed by his own blood. Shackled. Left to rot. Forgotten. Not for days or weeks, but for years. Every second in that pit. Every day in that prison. Every long night in a house that wasn't his. God was building something bigger than the pain. The palace wasn't about a promotion. It was about a purpose. And here's the key. Joseph didn't sit around twiddling his thumbs. Patience isn't passive. It's active faith. The daily decision to believe that even when nothing looks different, something is different. The roots are moving. The seed is alive. The soil will break open. And when God moves, his timing shatters every expectation. I won't lie. This truth broke me at first. But then I grabbed this one verse like a lifeline. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul that seeks him. Lamentations 3 verse 25. You might feel like your waiting is wasted breath. It's not. It's the pressure before the promise. And nothing God allows is ever wasted. Now, lean in, because the next truth stings. Humility, not the fake kind that makes you shrink back. Not groveling. Not swallowing abuse like it's holy. I'm talking about the kind that happens when the fog clears, and for the first time, you really see yourself. That's when true transformation begins. Because pointing fingers, that's easy. They're lies. They're gaslighting. They're endless games. But if you never look inward, if you never whisper, God, is there anything in me you want to heal or refine? You stay stuck. And let me scream this so it's loud and clear. This does not mean you caused the abuse. This does not mean it's your fault. But it might mean your reactions need reshaping. Your pride needs pruning. Your voice needs softening with grace. Humility cracks things wide open. When you stop defending every corner of your pain. When you hand God the blind spots you don't even know exist. That's when real growth begins. Praying, Lord, show me what needs to change. Even when I feel like I've done nothing wrong, isn't weakness. It's courage. It's the kind of humility that makes heaven lean in. And let's not forget, Joseph wasn't born wise and noble. He started out arrogant, a dreamer with a big mouth. He stood before his brothers and bragged, "One day you're all going to bow to me." Sure, the dream came from God. But flaunting it, that was all Joseph. That pride stirred the hornet's nest and helped push him into the pit. Don't twist it. His brothers own what they did. They're responsible. But God used every ounce of Joseph's fall to break him open and build him for something greater. The pit, the house, the prison. They weren't punishments. They were prep stations. Refining rooms. Fire-forged classrooms where humility became Joseph's foundation. Because when Joseph first got the dream, he wasn't ready for the palace. He was only ready when the dream didn't matter more than God's process. Humility stripped him down, rebuilt him, and turned him into the man who could look his betrayers straight in the eye, the same brothers who sold him out, and say, "I forgive you." God used it. That's not weakness. That's strength no human can fake. So remember this. Humility isn't God slapping you down. It's God setting you up. It's not punishment. It's preparation. And if you refuse to let go of pride, pain, and that burning, I don't deserve this. God will pry your fingers loose, not to hurt you, but to heal you. Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand, and in the right time, He will lift you up. 1 Peter 5 verse 6. And now comes the final piece, the one that feels impossible when the storm is raging and you're hanging by a thread. Trust. It looks pretty on paper, but in real life, trust feels like walking blindfolded on a tightrope over a canyon. Every instinct screams, grab something, turn back, do anything but keep moving forward. Trust feels effortless when life is calm, but when you're trapped with a gaslighter, when your own family twists reality and plays your emotions like a cheap piano, it feels like you're losing your mind. Your heart races, your thoughts scream. You know you should trust God, but instead, you reach, you grab, you cling to anything that feels like control. So you start cutting deals. God, I'll trust you with this, but let me hold on to that. Okay, you can have this corner, but not that one. And slowly, gently, God pries your fingers open, not to punish you, to free you. Joseph had every reason to doubt. God gave him dreams of greatness, then handed him betrayal, slavery, prison, and silence. It looked like a cruel joke, but through every blow, through every season where heaven felt dead quiet, Joseph discovered a truth most of us never learn. Trust isn't about understanding. It's about surrender, not because the pain suddenly made sense, but because he believed God more than his circumstances. That's the game changer. Trust doesn't mean you know the answers. It means you believe God's answers are better, even when they wreck your logic. Joseph didn't just survive. He rose, because he trusted the one holding the pen. And that's what you need to hear. What you're facing right now, this storm, this mess, it's not punishment. It's preparation. God isn't trying to break you. He's shaping you, refining you, forging you into someone unshakable, someone healed, holy, and ready for the assignment waiting beyond this battle. And if God hasn't removed that narcissist yet, maybe, just maybe, He's still doing something massive in you. So flip the prayer. Stop saying, God, change them. Start saying, God, change me. That's when the ground shifts. That's when cracks split open. That's when chains snap. And don't worry, God will handle them. That's His promise, not yours to carry. You want justice. You want to see how God deals with narcissists when He says, enough. Good. That's your next step. Check out the next episode. And before you go, grab your free Narcissist Survival Guide. Because you're not walking through this war alone. You're being prepared for freedom. For fire-tested faith. For a purpose bigger than the pain. You are never just surviving. You are being forged.